I just have a quick couple questions about a Snatcher.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the question about Jeff Lupatin. He said that they were originally going to do a racier version of the American dubbing for the Japanese market. Is this true at
No,
all?
I don't believe that's true. I think that the only thing you could say about that is that we I was on. It was a funny recording session. I was working there at Konami at the same time as my twin brother was working at Konami too. I was working at Konami in Tokyo. He was working at Konami in Chicago,
Hmm.
and we both. I flew to Chicago to do these the Snatcher things, and he was on the sessions too. And we did it in some little. It was unusual to do it in Chicago. We found some studio, and he pulled together some people out of somewhere, and we did kind of
Yeah.
auditions and casting on the spot, and those guys were great. And I remember Jeff, funny guy. Um,
Yeah, he's a comedian for
oh, is
Chicago
that right?
radio. Hmm.
He was a funny guy. He was a funny guy. We had a really great time on the set. Everybody had a lot of fun because it was unusual for them to get the experience of working together to do dramatic scenes. Again, it was all because of the advent of the CD. But anyway, so we probably took extra stuff. I mean, we knew that there were some things that were definitely not cool, for the U.S. audience, like Katerina, whatever her name was. She was 14 in the original, man.
Yeah, and naked
14.
too.
Yeah, and naked, you know, panties in a bunch on the floor. So, and he smells them. He sniffed her panties. This is a 14-year-old girl.
Oh man, and
But,
he's
you
so
know,
perverted in his games. You know.
oh, they really are.
Oh, you should
Yeah.
play through Metal Gear Solid 2 sometime, just for the humor of it. 'Cause he's got Raiden getting peed on, running around completely naked with his hands over his crotch, doing cartwheels.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have never heard it like that. Running around naked doing
Yeah, I mean,
cartwheels.
so it's like for that matter, what is the deal with Raiden? I mean, people. I don't know what to say. I mean, it's like
You want to play
the
a
guy get the
snake?
guy gets away with more than Bush is what I want to say. It's like
Yeah.
you know. I mean, you can drop in a character like Raiden, and you still get put on people's lists of genius. I don't know. That's cool.
Well, I mean, like he said, like Raiden was be like the player going through it and seeing all this weird shit and going, yeah, what is
Whole
this?
spiel about him being a unisexual character.
Oh, I understand. It's like Eugene Ionesco's use of Le Béranger as the everyman in the Rhinoceros, of course. Yes, I understand what he's referring to, but that's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, and one scene, the president of the United States feels Raiden, just reaches for his dick and starts feeling him. And he
He's
goes,
like,
"Are
"You're a
you
man? What?"
you're a girl? No way! You're kidding me."
What? What he reaches for his dick and explores down there so much that he can determine his gender.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he just cops a feel halfway through the game.
He just looks at him and he takes his
Yoink.
hand and grabs his balls and
Nah,
Raiden's like,
man,
"Dude, what are you doing? That's not cool."
that's not cool.
And they're,
It's like doesn't Borat do that?
yeah,
Isn't that
something
like
like
a Borat
that.
shtick?
He
Very
just,
nice.
yeah, he just grabs his balls and.
Oh, you want to do my crumph? My shrumph.
I mean, it's so weird though. And it happens in Metal Gear Solid 3. It doesn't stop in Metal Gear Solid 2.
So yeah,
Well,
it's
three
weird.
is more it's pulled back a lot more. Two, you're just watching it, wondering what the hell is this?
But I put in that weird shit about so for example, Revolver Ocelot.
Mhm.
Talking that weird shit about the. Have you ever? There's nothing like the feel of sliding a greased bullet into a. Yeah, I put that. That was mine. That was mine. I mean, that wasn't.
That's
I don't- I don't-
priceless, man.
I don't remember that being in the original, but I think I was riffing off of um, what is that? Full Metal.
Alchemist, right? Or Full
No,
Metal
Full Metal
Jacket.
Jacket. Full Metal Jacket. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Why did I
think
say
it wasn't even
Alchemist?
out back then.
Yeah,
Was
and
not.
well, actually, there's a lot of theories flying around that Meryl was raped by Ocelot or something like that. That Ocelot or
Maybe
something.
it was just Ocelot's hand.
No, players have always been
It's
arguing.
detachable.
Yeah, players have always been saying like Meryl, she says I've been through so much, worse, blah 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 blah, and people are like she must have been raped. Oswald must have raped her or something.
Mm,
And
mm.
was this ever implied in at all in the game, or is this intentional, or
No, I don't remember any. No.
you just think it
What
was
in Metal Gear Solid 1?
yeah, Meryl
Yeah,
being
she said something about going through uh, torture and
Oh,
things even worse than that.
oh yeah, 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 yeah. Actually, that you did kind of just ring a bell right now. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, right. I might have just stuck that in though. I mean, I don't remember it as being a major theme. Sometimes I had to just cover lip flap.
yeah,
It's like Popeye. You know why Popeye goes? You know why he does that?
because they already
You know why
animated
Popeye?
it.
You know why Popeye like makes all those like weird like oh I
Yeah.
don't know. He like talks under his breath and shit. It's all to match lip flap.
Yeah,
You know, because
I see what you're saying.
they had the animation done first, so they got the voice actors watching, doing the picture, and they're trying to cover these mouth movements.
Well,
so
about
so for all I know, I had Meryl say and things were, I mean, I don't think it was. I guess I'm saying I don't remember it as being an important thing that was pushed in any script or conversation with Kojima, but I may have just felt that would work for the scene. So if it got people to talk about that something might have happened, that's good, and maybe it did.
Yeah. Uh,
about Metal Gear Solid though, I mean, with all the technical jargon that was thrown in, how did you have to handle that? A lot of research, or
I think that there was. Well, when you say technical jargon, I guess it depends on which thing you're referring to. You know, um, you know, there was a lot of very specific stuff, and I did some really weird, a lot of weird research. I mean, I'm doing research on like Inuit, Olympic Games and stuff like this, and I'm doing research on how FAMAS scope rifles work with their laser scopes, and on how grenade launchers do this, or on how nuclear missiles have this kind of code thing built into them. So, yeah, I mean, I did ton and ton and ton of research for this. And then I actually participated in there was a strategy guide company that I helped do a strategy guide for afterwards that had this neat little section about the real world of Metal Gear Solid. I think it's a defunct company now.
it was a Millennium, wasn't it?
Millennium, yeah, that sounds right. Yeah. No, is it Millennium? They had a weirder name than that though. They had a really crappy name. They might have changed to Millennium at some point. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, Metal Gear Solid was a lot of jargon, yeah, as you put it. And some of it was stuff that might not even have been in the original script, but I added some military sounding language to make certain stuff sound, you know, more official. I made up some shit that didn't exist. Um, like the intro sequence. The very famous starting. With Campbell's talking.
your one man SVD.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, right. I mean, I remember retooling that scene so many times, to try to get it to, be like a cool intro, like a movie. And I felt like really in sync with Kojima. Um, I knew what he was going for, because he was relying on the same, movie conventions that I'd seen, television or movies or whatever. Um, and so it wasn't a direct translation that I knew would work. To do what Kojima wanted, I had to write the English, version of it, but it wasn't such a direct translation, and that's why it really bummed me out that they misunderstood so much of my. I don't know if they misread my intentions or misread. Um, I think someone told Kojima that I dissed him in some respect.
Huh. I
Because he would
just
say, I think he thinks that his words are, justifiably he thinks he's a good writer or a good storyteller, and as a person of only one language, maybe he suffers from the misunderstanding that if only his words were translated, then they would be fine in any language, and you just need a better translator who can take his words and not change his words.
yeah,
But
and
that
I mean it doesn't work like that.
it doesn't work that way.